死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の声だ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドトゥライドまで
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだった大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコ掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。
Hello, everyone, on a, hang on, my volume on my phone is running. Hello, everyone, on a Sunday night. It is CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy to see all of you here on a really calm day. Not a whole lot has happened. It's been very low key. There's been no online discussions. There's been no fighting. There's been no true social post from President Trump. There's been really nothing. It's been a very quiet day. So I don't really know what I'm going to say today. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Not a whole lot going on. So I'm sure we'll figure something out. But hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, another day of everyone is somewhat of a foreign policy expert on social media. And I'm just sitting back watching all of it play out. Because all you can do is just watch it. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. And so that's pretty much what I've been doing. And Brimstone, as you said, D-Day Cobra, no news is good news. Yeah, but unfortunately, I was being very sarcastic because it's been another day, another shit show on Twitter, on social media. And obviously, we are, what are we, a little over 24 hours removed from the bombings in Iran, or at least the news that we got the bombings in Iran, and from the United States of America. And that's created a huge amount of talking points on, I won't even say both sides of the aisle. I would say every side of the political aisle. Everyone is has an opinion on this, and everyone thinks that their opinion is the correct opinion. And everyone has insight that the other person they're talking to doesn't have, apparently. So what are you going to do? But we're going to go over a lot of it. But let me say hello to everyone in the chat. First of all, thank you for being here, both on Rumble and YouTube. I appreciate it. Brandon's here. Lady Aaron D. Big Overtime. Ben in the house. Lex, Crazy Clown Town. Monica Sherman. Aaron James. Holly. Barry. Carl. Icy Hawk. Darth. Smigoli. Unicron's Left Nut. Randolph. X in Wonderland. The Red Necron. Nick. Apex. Leonard. Tim. Queenie. Og. Dog. Now the chat's moving too fast on me. Johnny says, enough with the gay stuff, Jeremy. Darth Bane. Chad Layton with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Chad Layton. Eric K says, Jeremy cannot see me. Are you John Cena? Mo Monty. The Bugle. What up, the Bugle? Let's see. John. Chris. There's Monica. Damn, 1,515 minutes. Oh, we already got 1,500 people here. Hello, everyone. Over on the Rumble side, Nader's Brick is over there. Stephen Strange, CB Van, Bill Dozer, Scouts of War. Thank you guys so much for being here. So, Ministry of Wrong Think for $20 says, how come this reaction didn't happen when Trump took out Soleimani with a strike in 2020? He was Iran's top general. Where was the retribution, the ground forces, the betrayal then? Panicans and MAGA tourists are dumb. I agree generally with that, for sure. my big hang-up on this situation is Israel. But it's not like Trump has never had airstrikes before. People are acting like we're at war because Trump has ordered airstrikes. Well, he's ordered airstrikes before. This is not the first time. Do you want to have some context as to why you're upset? Because the crowd that says Trump promised no new war and now we're in a new war. No, we're not in a new war. We're not in a new war. So could it lead to that? I mean, it could potentially lead to that. But as we've seen, all of the language from Iran before the bombing happened, Iran said a lot of different things through their social media channels, and they weren't really doing anything. And now they're saying those same things. The argument is, and I think it's a valid argument, well, if Iran has sleeper cells in the United States of America, well, then they can attack us. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that argument. If Iran has sleeper cells in the United States of America, they can now retaliate against us because we bombed their nuclear facilities. Okay, let's go with that. So if Iran has sleeper cells in the United States of America, wouldn't we already be at war with them because they have invaded our country? Interesting. Interesting indeed. Isn't that an interesting scenario for all of the panicans out there to think about? If, in fact, Iran has sleeper cells in the United States of America right now that are undocumented and undetected because the Joe Biden administration left the borders wide open for 4 years, and we're supposed to not attack them because they may have already invaded our country? I'm just saying. So this is the thing that's going on with the panicans right now, is that they destroy their own logic with those arguments right there. I think it's a concern too, by the way. But I shared it last night, and I did something that the panicans don't want to do. I actually thought about what I said, because I did say that. I'm like, if this attack on the nuclear facilities leads to attacks in the United States of America, that's on Donald Trump. And I said that. And then I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If Iran has sleeper cells in the United States of America right now, that would mean that Iran has already invaded our country. So there you go. So again, it's just a theory. It's just a theory. Dark Schwartz Rising for $20 says, hail, brother. Thank you so much. Chad Layton, thank you for those 5 gift memberships. Janelle's for 10 says, here's a scenario the fools might understand better. Do you abort the baby at 3 weeks or 9 months? You can't allow a fanatic religious government to acquire a nuclear weapon. It's pretty simple. I do agree with that. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate it. Jared the American says, everyone needs to stop being a panicking and take an extended break from social media. Too much instant gratification and not enough common sense. Yeah, I saw the post. People told me about Mark Dice's post. Let me pull Mark Dice's post up. I really think Mark Dice is one of the best people to follow when it comes to this stuff right here. But Mark Dice had a post right here. Is this it? Okay. Right here's Mark Dice's post. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit so it's a little bit easier for everybody to read. Okay. So, here, Trump just bombed Iran's nuclear facilities and for Israel tonight. He will address the nation this evening from the Oval Office, trying to assure Americans we are not going to get into any further, getting further involved. Now the question is, will Iran stand down, or will they escalate against Israel or try to retaliate against the U.S. or our interest? This could go either way. He brought up Soleimani in 2020, yada, yada, yada. The bottom line is right here. Let's see. Yes, Iran could have active sleeper cells in the U.S., but if they had any here, they likely would have already been activated. This attack would have been the trigger. There is a risk of a lone wolf domestic terrorist who live among us, who hate America and side with Iranians and may do something stupid over the coming days. We wouldn't even have to worry about that if we had sensible immigration policies, yada, yada, yada. The bottom line, yeah, he says at this point, to compare this to Iraq, or him to George W. Bush is a major false equivalency. George W. Bush put boots on the ground over there. Trump did a drive-by shooting. I'm still not defending him getting us involved over there, but to equate this with the Iraq war, at least at this point, is pretty dumb. And Trump certainly knows what happened to Bush's reputation and legacy and doesn't want to tarnish his brand. So my assessment is he views this as a big bitch slap against Iran and doesn't expect any further involvement from us. Meanwhile, it's Saturday night, so I'm not going to give another second of my time or care about what's going on in the Middle East. People need to stop letting the news and their social media feeds dominate their lives. I'll put together a report on the situation probably Monday. Too many chicken littles in the MAGA movement who think the sky is falling now. 100%. Again, I'm not happy that Trump took action against Iran, but I don't know any fucking thing. I'm just a retard with the microphone. Donald Trump has more information than me. He has more information than everyone on Twitter. He has more information than everyone on Facebook. He has more information than everyone in this chat. And that's just the truth of the matter. I greatly appreciate the assessment from people that claim that I'm working for Israel, that Trump is also working for Israel. That tells me how flawed your information is when you say stupid shit like that. So why would I believe you about saying Trump is a puppet for Israel when you say the same thing about me, yet I constantly criticize the Malkias prime minister every chance I get, because I think Netanyahu is a piece of shit. I think he's a slimy snake. I think that no person in America should ever take that man seriously. But apparently that makes me paid by Israel. So again, I don't buy the Israel derangement syndrome crowd's arguments at all, because they have no credibility. You're literally libertarians. I don't take you seriously. When you use stuff like Trump pushing the chair for Netflix Yahoo, and you act like he's never done that for another world leader. It's the same thing as like, okay, if Trump really is his puppet, okay, if he really is Israel's puppet, why do you have to use something that is factually a lie? It's a lie. He's done that for other world leaders. It's called respect. So why did the Israel derangement syndrome crowd use that picture out of context? You're literally the mainstream media using things out of context. If it is so bad and it's so obvious, just like Jussie Smollett, you wouldn't have to invent fake race hate crimes if there were so many that actually existed. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have to invent shit. So when someone that doesn't even pay attention to this shit, when I see people using that picture of him pushing the chair and goes, look, he knows who he works for, I'm like, he's literally done that for multiple world leaders that he respects. What point are you trying to create right now? So you don't get taken seriously. And that's your own fault. You have no credibility. So continue to cry, continue to whine. It doesn't really matter to me. Smeeky for $1. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But moving on from Mark Dice's post, which I do think is very awesome. And like I said, for all of the people that have Israel derangement syndrome, if you're looking for valid criticism on Israel with a level head, Mark Dice has extremely good criticism. And he is someone I will watch, because he doesn't walk the line that Con Inc. walks. Because Con Inc. certainly doesn't want to criticize Israel at all. No, they won't. They won't do it. Fox News won't do it. They will not do it. But he will. And he does it with a very level head where you can go, yeah, I see where you're coming from on that. That actually makes a lot of sense. Mark Dice is awesome. So check him out if you have not. Not that he needs me to promote him. Mark Dice clearly doing a pretty good job of building his own channel. And I think he's closing on like 2 million subscribers. So I like him a lot, though. Let's see here. Now, we had this weird post from the LA County Sheriff. Our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. While this tragic event occurred overseas, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is closely monitoring the situation alongside our local state and federal partners. What? This is peak California bullshit right here. This is peak. At the moment, there are no known threats to Los Angeles County. However, out of an abundance of caution, we are increasing patrol checks at places of worship and other sensitive locations throughout the country. This is from the LA County Sheriff. Now, let me remind you that when Black Lives Matter is destroying cities in California, the LA County Sheriff didn't seem too concerned. When illegal immigrants are destroying the city and burning cars to the ground, the LA County Sheriff didn't seem too concerned. But when we bomb Iran, not the civilians, not their military, their nuclear facilities, they send a tweet like this out. It's absolutely insane, dude. So anyway, this tweet has been deleted, which should shock no one. So yeah, this tweet was deleted pretty quickly, but it just kind of shows you the mindset of the California leftist and how they think and how they have to make everything about them. But yeah, what a strange thing to tweet, man. What a strange thing to tweet. I really, really don't get it. Now we're seeing a lot of this right now. And the reason I'm showing you this particular one is just because it just hit my feed. We're seeing a lot of stuff like this right now. And this is all over the place. I do think that the Iran flag will now replace the Ukraine flag and become the new I stand with situation. I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing a lot of this. And I got to say, man, the amount of bot activity has been crazy on Twitter. I mean, absolutely crazy. I've seen stuff that is just mind blowing. And so yeah, there's not to be clear, bot activity from both perspectives. So I'm not saying that it's one or the other. The bots are just out of control big time. So I'm not saying it's skewed one way or the other. But it is something that definitely people need to look into, or just keep your eyes out, because there's a lot of stuff that's trying to skew the discussion one way or the other right now, and no one can actually make sense of it right now. Ultimately, it's all about not being a panicking. It's all about just realizing that if, and again, this is a big if you voted for Trump, you voted for Trump, I would assume, because you trusted him and you believed he was here to make America great again. Now, you can have issues with him, and that's totally fine. I've already said this 1,000 times, talking like people like Tucker Carlson and others that have rightfully criticized President Trump, and I have criticized him and second-guessed his decision as well. But the overreaction has been really weird, to say the least. And it's really hard to kind of filter through a lot of the bullshit. And I think the bot activity, again, from both perspectives, has kind of been ramped up. And I guess we're just going to have to see how that all plays out. But Twitter is a absolute shit show right now. Somebody commented this on my latest video, which I thought was really good. I tweeted it out. So somebody said this: do the haters of this channel just click on it and immediately hit pause, then scroll down to the comments and shit talk Jeremy? Yes, but also the people that love the channel do that as well. The amount of people here accusing Jeremy of blindly defending Trump and supporting the strikes, I can only assume these were posted by P-brains who didn't actually watch the video, because I'm watching it right now and Jeremy is explicitly stating he's not happy with Trump's decision. Do people just invent their own realities or something? Oh, yes, they do. But this is the internet. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to the internet. This is what the internet does. The replies were great. I did put perspective, though. I said my exact thoughts on the situation is I'm not happy about the decision. I'm very worried about the response to these actions that took place last night. Unfortunately, we're going to have to live in fear for a while, and that's not a good thing. Joe Biden spent 4 years allowing illegal immigrants to enter this country unchecked. That's terrifying. I also have questions about Israel's involvement in this decision for us to go and bomb Iran. However, time will ultimately tell if this was a good decision or not. For all of the negative hyperbole out there, President Trump could have possibly stopped future wars from happening with this decision. Nobody really knows. I just still have a lot of questions and concerns. I still fully trust and support President Trump. That final line right there is really what gets them all worked up, because they're like the almost there crowd, like, Jeremy, you're almost there. You're almost there. And those guys remind me of the male feminist, the male feminist that tries to tell the girl, like, be all sweet, like, oh, I love you so much. And then she's like, I have a boyfriend. He's like, fuck you, you bitch. And then they just snap because they think that I'm going to agree with them. And then I still fully trust and support President Trump, and they lose their minds like the soy boys that they are. They fucking lose it because they need people to agree with them. They need it. And when I hear people say, he's almost got it figured out, guys, we've almost got him convinced. And I hear that, and it's the most pathetic behavior I've ever heard. It is the behavior of a mentally weak person who needs some random retard on YouTube, me, to give you your opinion back. And that's a you problem, not a me problem. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, you know how those, I've seen like there was, what was it? There was a PewDiePie back in the day would react to some of those, like those soy boys, how they would message women, and they're like all sweet, and they're like, oh, you're such a wonderful person, and I appreciate your personality, and we, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, oh yeah, thank you so much. And he's like, would you like to go get some pizza? And they're like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. And like, you fucking bitch. You just snap immediately. That's it right there. That's how those clowns are that are always like, he's almost there, guys. He's almost there. Right here, Trump dragged America into another pointless war with Israel. I'm something of a foreign policy expert myself. So I kept kind of responding to a lot of these. Horror Amarada says, to be frank, most of us are just here to shit talk you. Not all of us hate you. I'm like, I respect that. I respect that. Let's see. If Jeremy got a $500 Rumble rant, he wouldn't notice it. Yet I noticed your random comment that didn't have a super chat on Rumble. Ooh, I guess I probably would, wouldn't I? But yes, so I do have the Rumble chat pulled up too. So there you go. Okay. So immediately when I made this post, I mistyped something. So you know the rule. That means I have to drop gifties in the chat. I have to drop gifties. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, yeah. So anyway, we're not going to go through all of this. But I like this one. Got to say, you're one of the more fair YouTube grifters out there. Keep it up. I thought that was nice. Calling me a grifter while complimenting me. A genuine compliment, too, which was very nice. Okay, so it's not all good news, by the way. And we're about to move into what is the bad news. But first, we got Ezio. What's up? God, hold on. Here we go. There it is. Sorry. The chat was moving like crazy. So thank you. And I saw like we had multiple. Raggedy Man sent a 50 and then it jumped on me. We got to go back to you. Okay. Jeremy loves compliments. Do not compliment me at all. Do not compliment me at all. All right. It can escalate, but Trump is known for doing precise strikes when necessary. He always said peace through strength. Strength requires action. Look at how he handled ISIS. Also, this is the 5th time World War III was supposed to start, so everyone chill. This is true. And thank you for the $50 super chat. Trump was supposed to start World War III in the first 6 months of his first term. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. So, this like the first 6 months of his first term. Remember this. Do you really want this man's fingers on the nuclear button? Remember that? Yeah, I actually do want this guy's fingers on the nuclear button. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So yeah, I mean, yeah, World War III has happened more times than Trump has been named Hitler at this point in time. So Raggedy Man for 50 says the last couple of days have been insane. I didn't not agree with the strike, but I'm not going to completely disavow Trump because of an airstrike. Influencers calling their base bootlickers is completely retarded. I agree completely. Listen, the stuff right now, the stuff I see on Twitter. So I've always been a fan of the Hodge Twins. I've always been a fan of the Hodge Twins, and they have been going full, like, you know, anti-Trump on this whole thing, and that's totally fine. The thing is something weird happened. They were full anti-Trump on this whole thing, and then it got shown that they have a Facebook page with 6.5 million followers. And the Facebook page for the Hodge Twins, which was verified, was posting pro-Trump stuff. And I'm like, wow. So let me just pull this up. So their Facebook page was posting pro-Trump stuff simultaneously while they were posting anti-Trump stuff and anti-MAGA stuff on Twitter. Now, they have explained the situation. Let's talk about their explanation. Here's them on Twitter. If y'all didn't already see, we are getting dragged because our Facebook account posts. We post our personal takes on X, and we have social media employees that post on Facebook because we don't have time, but we were checking before we weren't checking before they were posting. Some of the posts on Facebook were written with Chat GPT and did not match what we posted on X, so we ended up looking like retards. The posts were all public for everybody to see, and we weren't hiding anything. We're deleting those posts on Facebook and taking accountability for being some dumb N-words. We're also hiring a new social media person if anyone's looking. By the way, we are still anti-war. If for people that don't know what happened, our Facebook said something like Trump and Israel join forces and bomb Iran. Great job. Then at the same time on X, we were like, fuck this war. We ain't dying for Israel. Then Loomer immediately found it and did her thing like she does. Okay. So the issue I have here, I like the Hodge Twins. Been a fan of these dudes for long before they became the conservative twins and all of that. I've watched these guys from way back in the day. Love these dudes, okay? Love these dudes. If you're going to go and tell Donald Trump how he needs to run the country, maybe learn how to run your Facebook page first. I'm just saying. I mean, if you can't even run your fucking Facebook page correctly, but you seem to think you know more about how to run the entire country better than Donald Trump, that's an issue for me. Just saying. You know what I mean? Like, just saying. As someone that has a ton of people running a ton of different social media stuff, I 100% believe what they're saying. I absolutely believe what they're saying. I get it. I have a ton of people that run a ton of different stuff with G&G. And I have a rule with, but like for me, my rule is with Geeks and Gamers is that if you run a Geeks and Gamers account, the Geeks and Gamers account, the official accounts, are not allowed to share opinions as the brand account. The brand account is only there to deliver the news or deliver a video or an article. But like Geeks and Gamers official account is not allowed to have an opinion. It's not allowed to say, this movie sucks or this movie's bad. It's there to say, this movie comes out Friday and it made $500 million or whatever. That's what the account is supposed to do. It's not allowed to say anything positive or negative about anything. It's not allowed to say MAGA. It's not allowed to say, Black Lives Matter. It's not allowed to say anything other than deliver the information. That's it. So, and anyway, with this happening though, it was like, I get it. I believe everything they're saying. It's just that I'm supposed to believe that you know more about running the country than President Trump, but you can't even get your Facebook page with 6.5 million followers to post the things that you think it should be posting. That's all I'm saying. But I do like those guys. Those guys are great. Now for the bad news. You can spin it however you want to spin it. You can say it however you want to say it. Whether you support Trump or if you don't support Trump's decision, the absolute wrong people are supporting Trump's decision. And you can't spin that. The Lindsey Grahams of the world, the Nikki Haleys of the world, the wrong people are cheering on Trump's decision. And look who joined that crowd. Former Vice President Mike Pence is so happy with President Trump's decision to bomb Iran. Let's listen to former Vice President Mike Pence.
Praised today for the covert mission to strike Iran's nuclear facilities from his former Vice President Mike Pence, who said this, quote, President Trump made the right call to deploy American forces to strike nuclear sites in Iran, and he should be commended for his decisive leadership. Iran could never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. Thanks to the resolve of our commander-in-chief and the courage and professionalism of our armed forces, America, Israel, and the free world are safer as a result. Tonight, President Trump proved again that the United States of America is the leader of the free world, and America stands with Israel. Former Vice President Mike Pence joins me now. Good to have you with us, Vice President Pence. Thank you.
And I personally think these guys, this is a bad sign. I don't care how you spin it. This is a bad sign. When the biggest warmongers and the biggest backstabbers are now suddenly rushing to Trump's side to praise him, that's a problem.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Martha.
The things that you point out there, the importance of the free world and the fact that, President Trump made this very gutsy move. I just want to go back to the pre-election period in 2024, because you joined me here several times then. And this is what you said in March of the election year. Watch.
Donald Trump is pursuing and articulating an agenda that is at odds with the conservative agenda that we governed on during our 4 years. And that's why I cannot in good conscience endorse Donald Trump in this campaign.
So now, at this point in the presidency and watching how it's playing out, do you have any regrets about that statement back then?
The president and I have had our differences, which resulted in me staying out of the 2024 race. But I have to tell you, I couldn't be more proud of President Trump's decisive leadership in this moment, or the extraordinary professionalism and courage of our armed forces that brought about this historic mission. I mean, I must tell you, I saw last night as really a continuation of the policies of our administration, where we isolated Iran as never before. We got out of the Iran nuclear deal. We used force first against Syria when they used chemical weapons on their own people. We took down the ISIS caliphate with our military and their leader. And of course, the president's decision, which is very reminiscent to last night, the president's decision to take down Qasem Soleimani. I've been there at his side, and I must tell you, I honestly had no doubt that if the Iranians did not step up and make a deal to dismantle entirely the uranium enrichment program, that President Trump would act, our armed forces would deliver, and that's just what happened.
You know, I mean, you talk about how necessary this move was, and that it may, many people say, rewrite the Middle East. And you know, so I'm just curious, when you look back now, do you think that he is the only person who was out there running for president who would have ever done this? And are those consequences big enough that it makes you regret not supporting?
Well, Martha, there's not a day goes by.
Joey Saturday says, D-Day Cobra, you can't find Iran on a map, but you're going to tell us about geopolitics. I mean, I never said I could find Iran on a map. I never said that at all. But your mom can find my dick, and she does a good job of doing that every time I'm in town.
That I wish Kamala Harris was president of the United States. I expect if she'd have somehow found a way to win that election, we'd have been back to the policies of appeasement that the Biden-Harris administration implemented. But
I mean, even over other Republicans who ran,
I think it set the stage for October the 7th.
Yeah.
I mean,
would any of the other Republicans who ran have made this mission last night?
Well, I think many would have. I certainly would have not hesitated.
I appreciate that she's pressing him on this. And of course, I love how he wants to say, like, well, of course I would. So Mike Pence is a piece of shit. We know this. This is not surprising at all that he's a piece of shit, but it does. Like, I'm not going to worry necessarily because Mike Pence is supporting this decision, but there's a pattern of behavior. There's a pattern of behavior with a lot of people that historically have hated Trump, and now suddenly are just rushing to praise this decision, and I don't like it. I don't like when the neocons and the warmongers are happy.
To move as the president did. But look, I don't think I'm not in the rearview mirror today, Martha. I mean, I'm looking eyes forward, and I really do want to commend President Trump and his entire national security team for doing what really needed to be done. The very idea that the most dangerous regime in the world would have possession of the most dangerous weapons on earth has been intolerable. It's been the longstanding policy, was during our administration, that Iran would never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. I think Israel took important and decisive efforts when they launched an attack on Iran 1 week ago. And with the defensive support of our forces, they managed to essentially control the airspace, create this opportunity.
I don't think I want to put everybody through 3 more minutes of listening to this clown, but the point is it's never a good thing when Mike Pence is happy with the decisions that President Trump is making right now. And it's not a good sign when Lindsey Graham is cheering. It's not a good sign when Netflix Yahoo is addressing the American people before President Trump addressed them. It really isn't. None of that is a good sign. And I don't like it at all. Zap says Jeremy can't take criticism at all. I absolutely can if you send a super chat. If you send a super chat, I will take your criticism into account. I will work on being much better. And depending on how much you send, I might just completely change my opinion. So there you go. So Benjamin, here's what's interesting right here. Benjamin. Okay. So my mega. Okay. Benjamin. Okay. So Benjamin is, I guess you're an Iran supporter. I guess. So here's what happens. A lot of people have been typing the "Make Israel Great Again" to criticize President Trump. So I don't know if Trump is trolling with this one or not. I really don't know. But Trump, he is petty enough to do this. So Trump posted this. President Trump suggest support for regime change in Iran if the current one is unable to make Iran great again. So Trump says it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA. So basically, Trump has taken the crowd that wants to say make Israel great again, and now whenever they're typing that, they're essentially pulling for Iran, and they're saying make Iran great again. Trump is the ultimate. He took your power away from you. You're Papa Doc, and he's B Rabbit, and he took all of your ammunition away from you. That's what Trump does. So make Iran great again. Now your make Israel great again means nothing. You have to actually type make Israel great again out to be taken seriously. You can't just say MIGA anymore. All right. So there you go. All right. Bebop for 20 says, bro, learn how to tuck your hair behind your head, your right ear specifically. You look like you're from Alabama and gay. Well, I told you guys I'm growing my hair out. And it's getting out of control. So I didn't even notice it was back there. So there we go. But I'm growing my hair out, and I have not cut my hair in months. One day you'll see all of it. And Tim Pool, eat your heart out. Tim Pool, eat your heart out. Mad Frog, never forget the fly. It tried to warn us. Don't we all remember that one? We all remember it. Mike Hill for 50 says, let's see, there's a movie releasing in theaters just for one day at the end of July that will pique your interest. It tells the story of Alabama football. Really? Where? I think why I've not heard about this. It's releasing at the end of July. Who's in it? I haven't heard anything about this. Thank you, Mike Hill, for the $50 super chat. I did not know about this. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Mola Ram with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Where are we at? Catch up here. 3 possible scenarios. 1, actual evidence that Iran had a bomb. 2, this was a brushback pitch to Iran to calm the region. 3, this was the second-hand message to China if they try to take Taiwan. I appreciate the 3, but as a person that's like, and I don't disagree with the 3, but there's a 4th. And again, I hate to say it because it only gives credence to like the people that make the ridiculous accusations or whatever. But the truth is like I'm looking at the situation as objectively as I possibly can, and I wonder what Israel's involvement is. I absolutely do, and I can't help it. Like I wonder because what was their involvement? And why did we have to get involved after them? If there's a valid answer to that question, then fine. But I don't understand why Netflix Yahoo is talking to the American people about us getting involved. I don't understand why that guy is meeting with American podcasters like Tim Pool and trying to leverage them on his side. I don't understand all that. None of that makes sense to me, and no one has been able to explain that to me. I don't like him at all. I can't stand Netflix Yahoo. I can't stand him. So I don't like that we had to get involved after they decided to take action. I'm sure there's a good answer, but I don't know what that answer is. So it is what it is. If you supported Trump when Soleimani was killed, you should support Trump. Now, World War III didn't happen then, no different. Iran talks tough all the time. Well, of course, I still support Trump. But I think you're talking to other people that have decided to jump ship because so many people have, lost their minds over all of this. I get it. People waving Iranian flags are so dumb. I hate that people hate Trump so much that they will support anything, even a regime that are completely antithetical to liberalism. Yeah, they don't care. Thank you for the 10. They don't care. Anti-Trump people are controlled by Donald Trump and nothing else. That's the thing that controls their mind, body, and spirit. Donald Trump's actions, and they will do the exact opposite of what Trump does because that's what they live for. So you're almost there, Jeremy. If you just look into it a little more, you'll find out you're gay. I thank you so much. You're almost there, man. Wait till Jeremy figures this one out. Kentucky Tim says, LA Sheriff modified, then deleted the support post. So they did it from Kentucky Fried Movie. Your grift in the tradition of our ancestors. You have our appreciation, Fig. By the way, get a haircut. I used to be bald. Now I got to get a haircut. Thank you, Kentucky Tim. Null faces, but I thought we had HAARP earthquake guns. Thank you for the 10. Mad Frog, Jeremy, the enriched uranium has been moved before the strike. Finding it will be used as the pretext for boots on the ground. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. If you're right, Trump's going to have a real bad time explaining that one. If you're right. If he puts boots on the ground, that will destroy MAGA. I truly believe that will destroy MAGA. If he puts boots on the ground, he will destroy his base. Let's see. I can easily spin it, bro. Just because the wrong people support the right thing does not mean we ought to avoid the right thing. All evil needs to succeed. All evil needs to succeed is for good to do nothing. Very good point. Very good point. Logan with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Logan. Appreciate that. Mike's shared the teaser trailer for you on Twitter. Okay, noted. I'll check it out. Okay, so there's more to talk about. Let's get into it. Thank you guys for being here. Smash the melee button, meaning like the video if you're interested. And of course, if you're not, then you don't have to. So we had a terrible situation that happened today in Michigan, right here. Man driving truck rams into Cross Point Community Church in Wayne, Michigan, gets out and opens fire. He was shot dead by a security guard. Let me say that one more time. Good guy with gun kills bad guy with gun. Stay strapped, my friends. Stay strapped. Good guy with the gun kills bad guy with the gun. That right there is how it's done. Now, the situation is absolutely horrific that it even happened. And it's terrifying and it's scary, but it should be a lesson. Good guy with a gun kills a bad guy with the gun. And if you watch this clip, this is horrible, man. These are just people going to church. These are families. These are children.
Oh.
Get out.
Come on.
See that? Men running to protect the people. A bunch of men running to protect the people. Is this video not going to play now? Really? Come on, Twitter. Come on, Twitter. Of course.
Oh.
Get out.
Come on. Everybody to the back. Please, everybody come to the back. Come to the back. John, they got to come. They got to come. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Out, I don't think is a good idea. Come on here.
Absolutely horrific. But luckily, like I said, a good guy with the gun was there and took care of business. So shout out to that security guard And I believe there were some more details to it. I didn't get all the details on it, but yeah, just a absolutely like horrific situation, man. Terrible. And I'm just glad that no one was injured and harmed, but I'm sure that that's going to be a traumatic situation for many people for sure. Look at this. LA sheriff says sorry for the Iran post. So if you joined me earlier, I showed you this insane post from the LA sheriff about Iran. Let me see if I can find that really quickly so we can have some context to it for people that are just joining in. What a weird situation, man. So let's see here. Let me pull this up. Here it is right here. So the LA County Sheriff posted this and then deleted it. Our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. First of all, now I don't know. I know that there were no civilians targeted. I don't know if it was confirmed that no civilians were hurt in the bombings of Iran. I don't think any civilians were hurt. And I'm not even sure that any body was hurt. I don't know that for sure. But so our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. While this tragic event occurred overseas, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is closely monitoring the situation alongside our local, state, and federal partners. At this moment, there are no known threats to the Los Angeles County. However, out of abundance of caution, we are increasing patrol checks at places of worship and other sensitive locations throughout the country. Now, I can understand if you said, hey, because of the attacks or because of the bombings in Iran, we are taking precaution for our area to make sure that there's no retaliation. That's not what you said. You said our hearts go out to the victims and the families from the bombings in the fucking country that said death to America. So apparently, here's their apology. LA Sheriff says sorry for the Iran post. We are issuing this statement to formally apologize for an offensive and inappropriate social media post recently posted on our department social media platform regarding the ongoing conflict in Iran. The post was unacceptable, made in error, and does not reflect the views of Sheriff Robert Luna or the department. As a law enforcement agency, we do not comment on foreign policy or military matters. You did though. Our mission remains solely focused on protecting public safety and serving our diverse communities. He said the word. He said that they're going to protect the diverse communities. Even in a moment where you've been embarrassed, you still have to fucking virtue signal. You still have to do it. We fully recognize that the words and messages we share carry weight. As law enforcement professionals, we are entrusted with a position of public responsibility, and the trust demands that we communicate accurately. In this instance, we fell short of that expectation, and we are taking quick corrective action. We are committed to learning from this failure to prevent such incidents from occurring again. We have updated our social media post and have launched an internal review to determine how it was created and published. An internal review? God. Steps are being taken to strengthen our social media oversight. Bro, some fucking retard DEI hire posted this shit and you need to fire them. What are you talking about? A fucking internal investigation? What are you talking about? Steps are being taken to strengthen our social media oversight protocols. You could tell this is done by a leftist. This is being done by a leftist to ensure that any future communications align with our department's standards and professionalism, respect, and accountability. We appreciate the continued trust of our community and will work diligently to reaffirm that trust every day. Good God. You could have just been like, hey, bro, we fucked up. Sorry. And everybody would have thought you were funny. Everybody would have thought you're funny. Everybody would have been like, okay, that's funny. You know, or posted the Bradley Cooper. Hey, so we fucked up. Everybody would have laughed. Everybody would have laughed. But instead, you're like, we're going to launch an internal investigation. We're very serious about diversity. And we just want everyone to know that George Floyd mattered. George Floyd's life mattered, and we respect Black people. You didn't have to go that far. You didn't have to go that far, but you did. And now we're laughing at you even more. Dark Schwartz Rising says, just made a huge discovery. There's no I in team, but there is an I in Iran. Bro, I don't know how you came up with that one, but I am impressed. I'm impressed. Let's see. Here we go. Where am I at? Somebody was complaining about me in chat. Where's it at? Hang on. I love when people complain. Let me see here. All right, here we go. Brett says, Jeremy kind of rolling ones tonight. Sorry, bro. Trump completely fucked up. I don't think you're a liar, but you're coping. He needs to be called out. This was unfathomably stupid. I can barely say that word. And short-sighted. Well, Brett, I don't disagree. But yet you seem to think that I am like, oh my God, Trump did the most perfect thing ever. This is why there's no reason to talk to people that don't listen to shit. I have said there's criticisms for Trump. You should criticize him. He has a lot of questions he needs to answer. I have no problem with criticizing him. I'm critical of him. And none of that shit you heard. All you heard was Jeremy still supports Trump. Jesus. And you are here literally every stream and says, yeah, Jeremy is no expert on politics. That is correct. But you're here every night. And I appreciate that. So I'm doing something right. But yeah, so this is why there's no point to try to talk to people that don't want to listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth, because they're not actually interested in hearing what you have to say. They're listening to you so that you can say what they want you to say. And if you don't say exactly what they want you to say, they completely just decide that you have said something you didn't say. That's how it works. That's how it always works. So I think that's funny. Final Halo says, have you thought about maybe Trump not liking to do anything that won't succeed, made him wait, act until after? Oh my gosh. I'm not criticizing. This is a run-on sentence though. I got to try to understand what you're saying. Have you thought about maybe Trump not liking to do anything that won't succeed, made him wait to act until after Israel softened up the target and granted success? Whew. All right. That was a run-on. All right. I got through it. And I'm sure that there's something to that. But I don't know that. That's just a theory. And until we get more specific answers from President Trump, I'm not happy with the way that it lands right now. Phil says, dearest Jeremy, never ever question President Trump over important matters like this. He has everything under control. I would advise limiting your time listening to people like Dice and Smith. Well, I'm going to question Trump from time to time. I've questioned him many times before. And that's just how I am. But secondly, I don't really, if you're talking about Dave Smith, I don't listen to Dave Smith per se. I decided to check out his funeral for Ben Shapiro video because the title definitely hooked me. And I actually liked what Dave Smith had to say in that video, but I don't like Dave Smith per se. But I liked what he had to say about Ben Shapiro, and I like the criticism of Ben Shapiro. And I think that he absolutely destroyed Ben Shapiro in that video. And Mark Dice, I love Mark Dice. I love Mark Dice. I've been watching Mark Dice for a long time. And I think Mark Dice is one of the most level-headed people on YouTube to listen to for any of this stuff in the political world. Mark Dice is great. So I am a fan. Dave Smith, not so much. I'm not a fan of Dave Smith. But I do respect Dave Smith. Eric K says, mini dill in your pocket or happy to see us, Jeremy. What? Brian Doyle says, is that your man bun unit sticking out of your hat? Everybody's freaking out over my hair. Sam says, hope Trump knows what he's doing. So do I, but I believe he does. Wolvie, the 1/4 Jew, says, bro, best Joe Fest yet in Augusta, Georgia this weekend. I cannot make it, man. I'm way too busy with all this stuff. Philip Butler says, did you shave your eyebrows? You look super white. It's just the lighting where I'm at. Eric K says, this time, show the picture I sent you in your DMs. Yeah, I saw you sent me something last night. And it's a good point for sure. Let me go, Eric K. Let me see where it's at. Right here. Okay, so this is what Eric K was wanting me to show last night. Remember how we got here. Hillary Clinton supplied Iran with uranium to enrich their nuclear program. Barack Obama gave Iran $1.7 billion that they used to fund their nuclear program. Joe Biden unfroze over $16 billion of funds for Iran. So don't blame Trump for this. Now, again, is this 100% true? I don't know. But I have heard this argument out there. Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe every meme that I see. I do know memes are fact. I do know that. Memes are facts. We do know that. But I generally there's more than likely this is, and I'm just talking about specifics on the numbers and things like that. It's more than likely true. I'm just questioning some of the numbers to know if those are accurate. But the Democrats 100% created this mess. Donald Trump himself posted about Barack Obama, blaming Barack Obama for this entire situation. And so, yeah, I mean, the Democrats are evil. I've got another, let's see, I think I've got on my bookmarks. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Right here. Where'd it go? Right here. Okay. Bill Clinton, we are determined to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. That was in 1995. George W. Bush, Iran must not be allowed to develop nuclear weapons, period. Barack Obama, I have stated that Iran will never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon, 2015. Joe Biden, we will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon, 2022. Donald J. Trump, Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Thank you for your attention on this matter. This is the difference between someone that talks and someone that actually does something about it. There you go. One of these guys does something about it. The rest of them just talk about getting it done. So that's an interesting perspective right there. I like that perspective. That's a damn good perspective to have. So, interesting to say the least. All right. So another thing we got to talk about really quick here. Let me find it. Is now oftentimes we are told that Trump supporters are very low IQ individuals. They're not smart. They're stupid. And then you have the world's highest IQ record holder tweeting this out. I recognize Donald Trump is the only president chosen by God in American history. Oh boy, what does that do to the narrative? So I retweeted it. I says, I guess this hurts the Trump supporters are low IQ narrative. Look at that right there. Yeah, so this guy, he popped up on the scene. He popped up on my feed a couple of weeks ago because of his views on Christianity, which kind of went viral. This dude has a 276 IQ. Bro, that's insane. That is insane. So yeah, pretty crazy. And I don't know if we could find, there was a video of him. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Where he was talking about Christianity. And that's where he kind of hit my radar. Was it a video of him? I can't remember if it was a video of him or something like that. I'll have to scroll my feed here to see if I can find it, because I didn't bookmark what he said about Jesus Christ. But that was when I first saw the guy, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Is this it right here? Here it is. The man known for having the highest recorded IQ says he believes Jesus Christ is God and calls him the way, the truth, and the light.
In this video, I would like to share my thoughts about afterlife. I think our consciousness continues beyond death, definitely. Our consciousness is not just brain activity, but it is something deeper. I think you believe this. Science says that when the brain stops, then our consciousness disappears. You believe this now, but quantum physics says that information never disappears. Never. It only changes in forms. If our consciousness is quantum information, it may continue after the body is gone. For example, like computer data stored in the cloud, our consciousness may not be trapped in the brain. Quantum entanglement suggests that our consciousness is part of a bigger system beyond the physical world. Some scientists and philosophers believe that our world may be a simulation created by a higher dimension of being, which I believe. If this is true, then the death is not the end, but a shift to another reality. Just like a video game character disappears.
The man with the highest IQ is a Trump supporter who believes in Jesus, and he's bringing up video games to make his point. We are so back.
But the player still exists. Our consciousness may continue in a higher dimension like this. Many people with near-death experience says they saw their bodies from above or felt warm light and deep peace. They say they felt warm light and peace. These experiences seem like moving from one system to another, I think. So, if reality is part of something bigger, then death is not the end, but it is a transition, shift to another reality. Science is growing now, and we are learning more about consciousness and reality. Our death is not destruction, but change and shift. Humanity will keep searching for the truth about what comes after life. Thank you.
So there you go. So this is the smartest man, and he is a Trump supporter who has beliefs. And again, I don't get into religion much on my YouTube channel, so I'm not trying to make this a religious discussion per se. I have my beliefs and I believe what I believe, and you can believe what you want to believe, and that's totally fine. But it's battling that narrative that Trump supporters are low IQ. And now the smartest man in the world with the highest IQ of 276 recognizes that Donald Trump is the only president chosen by God in American history. That's what he says. And I think that's pretty awesome. And I do like a lot of what he said, and I appreciate what he said. I often think about the quote from Gandalf in Lord of the Rings to Pippin. I've always loved that quote about death. I think it's a fantastic quote. And but yeah, good stuff. Oh, and he did. I didn't know. Yeah, he did. He followed me back. That's right. Yeah. So he followed me back. I messaged him earlier, and I just, hey, thanks for the follow. I just became aware of you. And so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Right there. Okay, so next up on the agenda, first I'll read a couple of these super chats for now. Let's see where we're at. Brian says, Jeremy went full Billy Ray on us. Business in the front, party in the back. Also, Jeremy never reads my super chats, by the way. We need to let Trump cook on this one. I agree. We will. I'm letting him cook. I'm giving my opinion, but I'm letting him cook. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Strange for 10 on Rumble says, according to the briefings, this strike was planned months ago. Trump used Israel, not the other way around. I hope so. I do hope that's the situation. I didn't get a chance to listen to everything that Pete Hegseth said. I did hear a couple of clips from Pete Hegseth, which were fantastic, by the way. And remember that the Democrats claimed that Hegseth was a terrible pick. Yeah, that one's backfiring pretty good on you right now, because Pete Hegseth's turning out to be an absolutely awesome pick. This is one clip that he said right here. Here we go.
This is not the previous administration. The President Trump said no nukes. He seeks peace, and Iran should take that path. He sent out a truth last night saying this: any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Signed, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Iran would be smart to heed those words. He's said it before, and he means it.
Does that sound like we're at war? It doesn't sound like we're at war. Now, I know people on Twitter, think that we're at war because they think we're at war. But listening to the actual leaders, it doesn't sound like we're at war at all. So it sounds to me like the administration did what they felt they needed to do. And now they are saying, stand down and do not retaliate, or it's going to be a very, very bad situation for you. That is called tough leadership. Now, if you have sympathy for Iran, then go fucking have sympathy for Iran. I don't fucking have sympathy for Iran. I don't give a shit about Iran. Don't give a damn. If you do, that's great. I'll tell you the same thing I tell Ben Shapiro. If you love it so much, go live over there. Go to Israel, Ben, if you love it. If you're so sympathetic to Iran, fucking go over there and live and see how that goes for you. Simple as that. You live in the United States of America, you should be worried about America. Simple as that. CG says, LA Sheriff's Office will do an internal investigation one day later. We investigated ourselves and determined it was President Trump's fault. This would not shock me. It's so nuts. It's possible. You're not wrong, actually. You're not wrong. I agree, chat. Let me, what's Ben Shapiro's sister's name? What's her name? Is it, somebody will tell me here in the chat here in just a minute. What's her name? Because I would like to revise what I said. Somebody will tell me first. Abby. Okay, Abby. Let me rephrase what I said. Ben Shapiro, if you love Israel so much, take your ass over there. Go live there. Abby, you can stay. Thank you very much. Okay. I just had to, we had to correct that. Okay. We had to correct that. Abby, you can stay. We got no problem with you. You're cool. You're cool. Disillusioned Man says, if Iran has sleepers, then us rural folks are about to have a field day. Time to get out the Geneva checklist out. Eric K says, we still have not caught the known terrorists that came through under Biden. They were caught on camera. Anthony says, John Cena cooked CM Punk on the promo on SmackDown last week. Cena made Punk look weak. That was great. I disagree. I did like the promo from Cena, but CM Punk's pipe bomb is far better than CM Punk's pipe bomb was better than Cena's, in my opinion. But it was a good promo. It was a good promo, and I appreciate the full circle storytelling. But Phil Brooks is a bitch. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, let's be real, though. Israel were the ones who wanted the strike on Soleimani in 2020, so this is literally the same. Not a bad point either. Robot Boop says, shout out to Jess, who has a birthday that's not today. Hashtag 199. Dark Schwartz Rising for 20 says, dude, I can't even count to 276 or 76, but seriously, seems like an interesting guy. Yeah, man, it's super cool, man. I was awesome, and that hit my feed, and I just quote tweeted it, and then he followed me. So BF says, I'm in Pensacola in your neck of the woods. Don't live here, but went to restaurants and beaches. Awesome. Super chatted a bunch of you, but I'm here tuning into your live stream instead of debauchery on Main Street. Well, you've got to go to Flounders on Pensacola Beach. I'm telling you, Flounders on Pensacola Beach, phenomenal food. You will thank me after you go to Flounders. You will thank me. I promise. CG says, LA County, are we the Bowdies? Everyone with an ounce of sanity. Yep. Rob says, leftists are not loyal opposition. They are on the other side. Nullface says, actually, it's kind of genius to tell them the cops are watching them so closely for their protection. If only. Michael Williams says, new game. Take a shot every time Jeremy says, weetard. Oh man, that's going to be a lot of shots. That's going to be a lot of shots for you if you're going to do that one. Kitty Taylor says, OMG, yes, Flounders is awesome. It really is, man. Flounders has some amazing food. I am not sponsored by them. I don't know them. I'm simply a customer that goes there. And yeah, every time I go there, I feel like death when I leave because I eat so much food. So let's talk about this really quick. So President Trump sent out a True Social tweet, and he's very unhappy with Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky. He says Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky is not MAGA, even though he likes to say he is. Actually, MAGA doesn't want him, doesn't know him, and doesn't respect him. He is a negative force who almost always votes no matter how good something may be. He's a simple-minded grandstander who thinks it's good for politics. He thinks it's good politics for Iran to have the highest level nuclear weapon, while at the same time yelling death to America. And he just kind of goes on and on. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So this situation is Trump is basically wanting to primary Massie. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of Massie at all. I don't know if Trump can primary him. I really don't know, because Massie has a fan base. And but the reason he's saying that is because Massie actually did an interview where he claimed he was MAGA. I think it was today. And I think that's what kind of pissed off Trump. Let me see if I can find it. Massie MAGA. Let's see if I can find it. I didn't bookmark it. So that's what really got Trump worked up, if I'm not mistaken. If I can find this clip. Is this it right here? Yep. Well, I don't know if this is it. Here we go. Here's a clip. I don't know if this is the clip.
notion that this isn't an active war, I find ludicrous. This is a hot war. There are two nations, Israel and Iran, trading volleys of missiles every night, every day, and we're co-belligerent now in this war.
I mean, the vice president went on to say that they needed to act now because there was a narrow window, and if they waited, it could have been too late. They needed to stop the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Do you not share that concern?
No, I don't share that concern. But I have another concern, and that is that 3 bombings to neutralize Iran may turn out to be the 2025 version of 2 weeks to slow the spread. This could turn into a protracted, prolonged engagement, and I'm here to represent the base of the MAGA party that got Trump elected.
There it is.
Most of us were tired of the wars in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, and we were
Okay, first of all, Massie directly worked against President Trump in the primaries. Massie worked against Trump and was directly campaigning for Ron DeSantis. So that is a fucking lie. For him to say that is an absolute lie. You can think Thomas Massie is whatever. He's a fucking liar to say that. He is 100% a liar. He worked directly against President Trump in the primaries. He was Team DeSantis. He did everything he could to get DeSantis elected, and he failed miserably. Those are the facts right there. He is a liar when he says that.
promised that we wouldn't be engaging in another one. Yet here we see this happening, and there's the president and the administration say, "Oh, we're done. We've had our little bombing, and now this is over." But what happens if this drags on between Israel and Tel Aviv gets pummeled by Iran? Is President Trump going to say we're going to sit by and not do anything in that instance? I'm leery of this given everything that's happened before.
So, and it goes a little more than that. And that's why I think Michael Knowles had a tweet about it right here. Okay. No matter what you think of the Iran conflict, the Trump-Massie fight should surprise no one. Massie was anti-Trump in 2016, even though he ultimately votes for him in the general, criticized him around January 6th, and endorsed DeSantis in 2024. This feud is more than bunker busters. It is, and I just don't know. I mean, the problem is that the last time Trump went after Massie, which was not too long ago, Massie got so many donations and so much support from it because he does have a very strong fan base. I don't like him, but he does have a strong fan base. And he's really good at working through negativity, which I respect. And he's going to do the same thing with Trump attacking him. I think Massie will 100% be able to manipulate this. And I don't say manipulate in a negative way. I actually say it in a good way. Like, he's going to be able to manipulate Trump's criticisms of him. And I think he's going to benefit from it more than anything. But it really comes down to, like, who is Trump going to try to get him in the prime? He's going to, because Massie has a fan base. He just does. I don't like him, but some people do. So we're just going to have to see. But yes, Trump went on, this big True Social rant about him. And I guess he's going to try to primary him, and we'll just have to see how that all plays out. So let's see. Matt Frog says, you can say the same about Noel's boss. This is true. Very true. Ben Shapiro was more anti-Trump than Massie probably was back in the day. So you're not wrong about that one at all. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that one. I know that was an update that is happening throughout the day. What is this one? I actually wanted to hear, so Alex Jones, I wanted to hear what Alex Jones had to say, because this is about President Trump endorsing Iranian regime change on True Social, calling for make Iran great again. I want to hear what Alex Jones has to say. I have to say, I love Alex Jones. I feel like Alex Jones has been all over the place on this Trump thing. I feel like Alex Jones has been throwing everything against the wall just to see what will stick. He's been all over the place on this. And he played both sides of this discussion. And now here we are. So,
well, Trump just put this out on Truth Social. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Make Iran great again. So 10 days ago, Israel strikes Iran, says it's about taking out their nuclear program. Within 3 days, Netanyahu says no deals, we want regime change, pushing them all the way to the wall. And now Trump joins in, essentially calling for regime change. Yep, that's called sleepwalking us into total war, not what we voted for. Trump can say, well, I always said they can't have a nuclear program, but I'll try to make a deal. No, that's true, and he did run on that. So it's not really a broken promise at this point, though he didn't really deliver on what he said he would try to do, and we know he can't totally control things. But to now say, ooh, we need regime change, well, you see, Trump's getting more hawkish by the minute as things escalate out of control.
Somebody says, whose side should I be on, bro? Well, I don't believe in telling people what they should or shouldn't believe. I believe that you should look at the information that you think that you should look at the information that's available to you, and you should make an educated decision on it. I can tell you what I think, but I don't like telling other people what they should think per se, unless they are actively just like directly asking me. But if you're asking me what you should think, I don't like answering that question. But there are plenty of people on the anti-Israel side that will tell you what you should think. They need you to believe them. They need you to agree with them. And if you don't, they will forget anything else you've said and decide that you are on the opposite side, because that comes from a place of very much insecurity. So I'm not going to tell you that. I think you should do some research and come to the best conclusion you can.
And we're going to go to some examples of that, including all these countries saying we're going to give nukes to Iran now. And Iran saying we're out of the proliferation treaty. We're going to go ahead and make the bomb. Oh, and by the way, we got all that uranium out of the bases before you blew them up. Something I said is obvious strategy, and I predicted would be the case, which already was the case. And I said it a year ago, 6 months ago, a week ago, and on Friday. And on Saturday, hours before it happened. I was there. Well, the attack hasn't happened yet. I think it'll happen by the day if it does. Get off the air at 3 o'clock, go home to my family, take my youngest daughter to dinner. We're sitting there at a restaurant. My phone, bzz, 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 bzz. She finishes, we leave. I didn't put a report out last night. I wanted time to cogitate, research, look at all the angles before I put my reports out this morning, because I like to think about things. And you've gotten now what is the most accurate information. Now let's drill into all of it. Here is the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, today, talking about what blocking the Strait of Hormuz would signify, that has 20% of the world oil supply coming through it. And notice he didn't say the Iranians couldn't do it. It's right.
I saw someone, hang on, someone said, let me see if I can find it. He was responding to a super chat. There we go. Here we go. Jeremy has never been to Iran. Let me explain something to you, and it's a bit off the record, and I want to remain, I have to be very careful about it. I've conducted missions all over the world in Call of Duty. Some of these things I am not allowed to talk about. So while you may be aware of some of the public things that I have done in Call of Duty, there are certain things that I will not speak of, certain missions that I was involved in that I cannot speak about. But my kill-death ratio got me laid a lot back in the day, because ladies love a good KD. Thank you very much.
On their border in shallow water, totally armed. They've got thousands of small ships, hundreds of big ones, a few big oil tankers that they sink, and then they can sit there and pin down. Anybody ever tries to go dredge them back up, they can block it for months, 6 months. They do that. Oil's at $200 a barrel. They just sink one.
Bro, there's so many people watching this that probably don't know much about me. They're like, this dude just drop Call of Duty references. I am a modern warfare veteran, ladies and gentlemen. I grew up in modern warfare lobbies. There's not a lot you can say to me that's going to offend me. All
One
right.
ship, 130. So you do the mathematics, the equations, the numbers. That makes inflation even 130 double. CPI. Are you listening? And then you do the numbers into Trump's recovery plan. It kills it. And the U.S. then continues its debt spiral, which the globalists want, become a debtor nation. The dollar basically dies, put into a basket of currencies with a world reserve currency, with a social credit score, the central bank digital currency, the new world order, the universal basic income, the vaccine passport, the whole big plan. And you need a crisis to get.
So Alex, I would say this about Alex. So, and this is just because, you know, Alex has been claiming that all of these things are going to happen for, you know, whatever, 20 years. It's kind of the same thing as Netflix Yahoo. Netflix Yahoo was claiming for 20 or 30 years that Iran was 2 weeks away from, you know, a fucking nuclear weapon. And so, you know, Alex has been saying the same thing. So is that valid criticism? If we're going to criticize Netflix Yahoo for hyping up something that's 2 weeks away, Alex has kind of been saying the same thing.
Get it. They said that they'll use viruses and war and migration to get it. And now here we are. The United States and Israel are coordinating all of this. Trump has been involved in the whole thing. And I'm not attacking him. He's a good man. He believes he's doing the right thing. But a lot of his top advisors have told him this was a terrible idea. In fact, the majority of them. And I said 10 days ago when this started, I said Israel will soon say it's about regime change.
Yeah, but you also said that you had sources that told you DeSantis was going to be his running mate when Robert Barnes told you that it was confirmed. And you said, yeah, I've heard the same thing, but you seem to know more. You didn't hear the same thing because none of it was true. Not 1 ounce of DeSantis and Trump working together to be VP and president was true. 0 of that was true, what Robert Barnes said. And Alex, when he heard Robert say that it was confirmed, then Alex said, oh, yeah, I've heard the same thing that you've heard. What have you heard? Because you probably have more information. It was bullshit. You didn't hear shit because it was not true.
And then 3 days later, I started saying that by Tuesday last week. And now this. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change?
Bro, so I insulted Joey Saturday like an hour ago, and he's still here. If I don't know anything about geopolitical stuff, why are you here? There's like 100 people live right now that are far more educated than me, yet you're still watching me. Why? Why the fuck are you watching me? I appreciate it, but why are you watching me?
Make Iran great again. MIGA.
Oh, he said it.
MIGA.
No, you said it.
Iran great.
He said it.
It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but
he backed off. I didn't know that. All right, Alex, we're cool.
Current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again. Why wouldn't there be a regime change? Make Iran great again. MIGA. MIGA. So, wow, Trump for regime change. Wow. Yeah, that's what this is. So, that's what it is. Told people the last 10 days, that's what it is. Shut up. It's not. Trust the plan. All this delusional horse crap. This will really show Israel. They really are against this. Genius move by Trump. Now they'll have to stop war with Iran because their nukes are gone. Oh, sorry, they're not gone. Now they say they're going to actually get a nuke. They're going to get out of the treaty. Oh, now all these foreign powers are going to give them nukes. Oh, now they're going to close Strait of Hormuz. Oh, sleeper cells activated. Oh, yeah, a real genius plan.
Yeah, man. Alex is just, I don't know, man. I love Alex Jones. Alex has been a true, like Alex has forgotten more about things than I will ever know. And that's a compliment. You are correct. You are correct, Stephen Strange. To be fair, Alex thinks that the quartering runs Geeks and Gamers. He also thinks he runs Friday Night Tights. And I've told this story before. And I appreciate it. So when I had Alex Jones on Friday Night Tights, when we had him on Friday Night Tights, I'm texting with him after the show. And Alex was super like cool and low key and awesome. And I was like, hey, Alex, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. And the only reason I'm telling this is because Alex told me it was fine, so I'm talking to him and I said, hey, I would like to ask you something completely off the record. And he's like, oh man, anything with me. The way it happened is I'm texting him and he's responding to me with voice clips. So it sounded like he was driving and he's like telling me like, I can ask him anything and nothing's off the record with him. Anything we talk about, I can talk about it. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to know. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm trying to be respectful. I asked him about it, this is years ago, but I was asking about his relationship with Trump and he, went into like, him and Trump have they had some issues, but they got him behind him and all, they got past it, yada, yada, yada. But it was funny. And so, then we brought him on the second time. And my story with this one is, so the first time we had Alex on, we brought the quartering on. Okay. We brought the quartering on. And Alex comes on there and he's like, hey guys, I love all your shows. I watch all your shows. You guys do a great job. I appreciate all of you. You all do great work. And I'm sitting there going, this motherfucker has no idea who we are. You're not watching my Brie Larson videos, Alex Jones. You're not watching my Marvel Went Woke videos. You're not watching them. He's not watching them. So so anyway, we're all on there. It went great. The second time we have him on, I don't know. I'm still trying to, I've told the story before, but I'm drawing blanks on certain aspects of it. But he mentioned the salty cracker. And so he's like, where's salty cracker? And I'm like, oh shit, you want salty? So I'm texting salty. I text salty. I'm like, bro, Alex Jones is asking for you. He goes, what the fuck? And I'm like, yes, we're on Friday Night Tights. Alex is asking for you. So anyway, we get salty cracker on there. And so afterwards, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I think he thinks that salty cracker is the quartering. Like, I don't know. I think Alex thinks that salty is actually the quartering. So then so he plays this like clip of the Friday Night Tights intro and everything, and he thanked us. And then Jeremy from the quartering had Alex on like a year later after all of this. And Alex credited the quartering with running Friday Night Tights. And he's like, I love all your shows, man. You do a great job of Friday Night Tights, Salty Cracker, all those shows. You do a great job. And I was just thinking, like, he actually does. I think he does think the quartering is Alex. I mean, Alex Jones thinks the quartering is Salty Cracker, and he thinks the quartering runs Friday Night Tights. It was so funny. So anyway, I think my theories were pretty much on point. He has no idea who I am. To this day, I have the man's phone number. I have his phone number, and I do not think he knows who the fuck I am. So it's great, dude. So anyway, that's the story, the Alex Jones story. Like, I've literally texted Alex Jones several times, and I don't think he knows who I am. If you went up to him and said, hey man, what do you think about Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers? And you go, oh yeah, well, he's great guy. Love, he does a lot of good content. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Alex? So anyway, good shit. All right, where are we at? JRG Project for 20 says, if you want to see Iran's future, look no further than its former ally Syria. The only wild card was their nuclear ambitions, which unified them. With that gone, it will be a free-for-all between the militias. I agree. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Star Wars and Stripes 420 says, I'm kind of retarded. I am too, so it's all good. And Alex, that famous clip from Alex. My goal was to get Alex Jones to play Mario Kart with us, because I do think that would be probably the greatest thing ever. I've got this clip. This is just like, this is a clip from Alex Jones playing Mario Kart.
We're gonna get you, assholes. Just know that. Ah! Fuck them! Fuck them! Sick of their shit. I don't fucking care anymore.
That is how Mario Kart goes. You're in first, you're killing it, you're talking shit, and then a blue shell hits you, and you don't even care.
We're gonna get you, assholes. Just know that. Ah! Fuck them! Fuck them! Sick of their shit. I don't fucking care anymore.
Oh man, Alex truly is a national treasure, though. He really is. Ministry of Wrong Things says InfoWars was peak in 2016. They had CNN fake news campaign and read the WikiLeaks verbatim. That being said, Alex Jones said under oath in court that he is just a performer doing entertainment. Just saying. Well, I mean, I know that that's been used against Alex, and look, I mean, that's true to any streamer. That's true to anybody. Like, I mean, when I'm walking down the street, I'm not just going to say, oh, yeah, your mom sucked my dick, you know, like I do on a stream. I'm not just going to just say that to some random person walking down the street that's looking at me the wrong way, you know. So there's an entertainment value that, you know, goes along with it. Now, again, I think I'm generally kind of the same person in real life that I am on stream, but I do you really? Okay. This would be me if I'm just like talking to you, like I'd be, hey guys, yeah. This whole thing is kind of crazy, but you know, we'll see what happens. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't really know what's going to happen with Trump. I don't know. You know, they'll figure it out, I guess, but I don't know. I got to take a shit. I'll be back. Like, you know, you're not going to watch me if I'm just like laid back, scratching myself, whatever. So yeah, I don't really hold that against Alex Jones per se. Matt Frog says Iran will ignore the U.S. and take all of their attacks on Israel. If Israel takes too much damage, let's see. If Israel takes too much damage, will Trump be able to stay on the sidelines? If he gets involved, then nukes were just an excuse. It's a complicated matter. That's why no one watches Beardo. Damn, Beardo catching strays in the chat. Imperial, let's see, Fist stances. If you supported Trump when Soleimani, I got that one. Fantastic Knox says you should play the Bernie video condemning the attack. So many pro-Iran supporters now, supporters now since getting their new download. It's not pro-Palestine right now. Well, that's weird. Yeah, because, you know, we've got the pro-Palestine crowd out there. And then first they were Ukraine, and then they were Palestine. And I guess now they're going to be Iran. It is weird how they just continue to just change over and over again. Like, oh, I'm this thing now. I'm that thing now. So yeah, I agree with that. The Red Necron says, can I have your hair, Jeremy? My hair is super retarded. Well, mine is too, to be fair. So Kaiser says, hail chat, been lurking while on the road. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. All things considered. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. Have a safe drive. Doghouse Video says Trump is a liar and a slave for Israel. I regret voting for him, and I'm never voting again. Well, I respect your opinion. I disagree. Archer Blade says Donald J. Trump started World War III when he called Kim Rocket Man. I forgot about that. The Tim K says people with flags in their bios shall be called flaggots. The Rocket Man comment was so good. Matt Frog says the Hodge Twins said on X that they still support Trump and would vote for him again. Yeah, I don't know, man. The situation of like the disparity of like what they're saying on Twitter versus saying on Facebook, it's a weird dynamic. So, but either way, man, they're welcome to do whatever. So throughout history, good men follow bad advice. The Iran situation currently reminds me of a PF, the Syria 2019 airstrikes. There's been no endless war in Syria. And I don't know why I said PF, it's of, but and some cried World War III and all the same BS. Yeah, same. So there's a lot of people. The weird thing is so many people that you would think would be on Trump's side have just completely decided to go negative. And I don't know what that has to do with. I don't know if it has to do with, monetization on Twitter. I have no idea. But it is very confusing, to say the least. So, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot says they think that he did this for Israel. He didn't. Trump could give two shits about Netflix, Yahoo. He did it for the U.S. and used Israel to get it done. I hope you're right. Nandy says warmongers and neocons coming out of the closet. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, my guess is the neocons are happy with Trump's bombing of Iran. It means their military money from Raytheon and Boeing will be flowing. Hydrocoptic says your episode counter is still broken. 199 is lies. Doghouse Video says he's literally supporting regime change for Israel. Are you dense? Yes. Next question. I'm very dense. Next question. Johnny the Wizkid says, Jeremy, guess what? I ran. Get it? Logan Miller with a new membership. Thank you. Archer Blades with a new membership. Horny Alf says, Jeremy, with you growing your hair, are you going to try to look like me, Napoleon Dynamite? No. My hair, I don't really know what the hell my hair is going to do as it continues to grow. There's going to be a point, like, I really want to shave all of it right now because I like to shave my head. I don't like to have a bunch of hair on my head. But I do feel at my age that I probably won't have it much longer. Maybe I will. I mean, I have no signs of balding or anything, but I am like, I'm like 5 years from death probably. So I want to at least let it grow out as long as I have it and see what happens with it. Anthony says, it doesn't matter. I'm still supporting Trump. From Australia, you woke me up back in 2019 about Star Wars, and I looked up I looked up guessing everything now. Well, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Shadow Sand says Jeremy is diverting all of his eyebrow hair to his head. Hydrocoptic says, does anyone else notice the current situation similarities to the plot of Top Gun Maverick? Oh, yeah. A lot of people have talked about that. Jeremy's going for the classic Joe Dirt look, says Panda Thought over on Rumble. Dirk says Trump's regime post was just a signal to the Iranian people. Also, there's something about Thomas Massie that literally makes my skin crawl. Yeah, and libertarians seem to think that he's going to be like presidential candidate nominee material in 2028. Not a fucking chance. Not a chance. Jeremy the Cyborg says, thing I noticed about that church video was running. No one was running over each other, but we're helping each other. Yes, exactly. Fantastic Mr. Knox says diverse communities, so not American citizens. Sane Millennial says LA cops are cucks who are doing this because they're afraid of the locals' anger being taken out on them because of the ICE raids. So woke. Sad but true. Sad but true. Heavy D at the movie says Brett likes Echo and the Acolyte. Sits to be. Your Barmy says he loves when Trump calls people low IQ. Eric K says, IQ over 200 points higher than AOC and Kamala. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier with a gifted membership. JD 1989 says, Jeremy, Unit 910 has manned portable surface to air missiles in the U.S. They brought in during the Biden open border. A commercial jet will be downed. Robot Boob says, you look like Ricky Bobby, but a gay 199. Twilight Media Corp says Trump's use of force in Iran didn't need authorization from Congress. He got the power from the Patriot Act with Congress re-upped last year. Mad Frog says you could say the same about Noel's boss. Usage says Massie never been MAGA. I can't keep saying it. I can't. I said it one too many times, which is once. So that's it. Dimes Recon says, this is just the Illuminati trying to distract us from the glorious death by Van Dask, and Ripa. Fight the power. Ministry of Wrong Think. Massie sees blood in the water of MAGA. I see what you spelled it differently so you could say it. Blood in the water of MAGA, and is trying to scalp supporters from Trump. I agree 100%. Manipulative as hell, which got to do what you got to do, right? Moral objective says no day one promises kept. No, only day 100 excuses. Slain Hope says first rule of Black Ops, don't talk about Black Ops. Vault 95 says live now, camera was on at midnight, huh? Fantastic Knox says KD as in Killer D, kill death ratio. Dragon Dance says Jeremy referencing video games like he has 276 IQ. Raggedy Man says sup my MAGA. Slain Hope says you thought Afghanistan was mountainous. Look at Iran. Diane on Rumble for 20 says bombing Iran is not the same as Soleimani. He was the leader of the FTO, enemy combatant of Iraq, with U.S. troops deployed and responsible for murder and manning of thousands of U.S. soldiers and EFPs. Well, I appreciate what you're saying there, but the in terms of what people are trying to say, though, it's the argument that people are saying, like, because of a strategic missile strike, we are at war. And that's just not true. It can become true, but it's not true based on what has happened right now. You know what I mean? So strategic missile strikes does not mean war. They are different in circumstances, but it's still, for the argument that people are trying to make that we're at war because of strategic missile strikes, we're not. And that's the narrative that a lot of people are pushing right now, that a lot of people are trying to push back against. You know what I mean? Diane says, I completely concur. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Let me see here. What is this? Got that one. Raggedy Man for 20 says, my previous was not talking about the twins, but Luke Rudkowski and other tar Dave Smith couldn't wait to slam Trump. Yeah, I mean, look, Luke has never liked Trump, so Luke's criticism of Trump means nothing. I met Luke. He was a nice guy. He didn't know who I was. I was hanging out at the RNC, and it was funny because I was talking to the Quartering, and me and Quartering's talking, and Luke walks up because he was hanging out with the Quartering, and Jeremy's like, hey, Luke, this is Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I was like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And, I don't want this to sound like, I'm not trying to make it sound like a dick, because he was not. He was nice. But, like, it's the handshake. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And we're talking. And then Quartering goes, yeah, Jeremy destroys Tim Pool in Super Chats every night. And as soon as he said that, Luke's like, hey, man, you want to come on my show? Where are you from? And suddenly he was interested because the Quartering told him I destroyed Tim Cass in Super Chats. And then suddenly Luke's like, hey, man, you should come on my show. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's, So I was like, okay. But Luke has always been an anti-Trump guy. He's always hated Trump. So for him to criticize Trump means absolutely nothing right now. So, and of course, no, I did not take him up on his offer. I was not worried about, I was not worried about going on his show. I didn't care about that. So, Michael for 20 says, I'm concerned that sleeper cells within the country will be activating, and there is a lot of them in the USA. I am too. Okay. Bennis, who's always criticizing me in the chat, says, I support Jeremy because I hate Tim Pool. I respect that reasoning right there. I respect that reasoning. But yeah, back to what Michael says right here. I'm concerned about sleeper cells within the country will be activating, and there are a ton of them in the USA. Agreed. And if we have sleeper cells in the United States of America right now, Iranian sleeper cells, if that's the case, then Iran has already attacked us. They are already infiltrating our country and they have already attacked us. So and that's the argument that for people to say like, well, the sleeper cells could be activated because Trump's actions. Well, if we have sleeper cells in this country, then that means that Iran has already infiltrated our country and they have already attacked us. And Joe Biden left the borders open for 4 years, wide fucking open. So it is a concern. Jeremy the Cyborg for 20 says, keep in mind the equipment and vehicles that we know about the country has had for 20 plus years. The SR-71 was announced as a new spy plane in the 80s, and its first official flight took place in the 50s. Thank you, Jeremy the Cyborg. I appreciate it, brother. You are correct. You are correct. Prenon Corp says, hey, Jeremy, can you invite DSP to Geeks and Gamers to play Mario Kart? No bullshit. Like, I don't think he would do it. I don't even know. I don't know if DSP knows who I am. I would not be mean to somebody. Please clip this out right now and send this to DSP. DSP, I don't know much about you. I've seen a lot of clips about you. We play Mario Kart on our Geeks and Gamers Play channel. Me and my team. There's like 10 of us every week. All we do is yell and cuss at each other and play Mario Kart. I would love to have you on our Mario Kart stream. I'm not trying to trap you. I know people have pulled you on their streams before and they're trying to like pull you in so they can criticize you and set you up and get clips. I legitimately would just love for you to come play Mario Kart with us. You're going to get cussed out, but we're all going to get cussed out because that's what we do. We call each other names. We laugh at each other. We cuss at each other. It's a good, fun time. We would love to have you on with the Geeks and Gamers Play team every Wednesday night. We usually get about 2,000 people watching us over there. The chat would love it. You have my word as the creative Geeks and Gamers. It's not a setup. I'm not trying to grift you. I'm not. I genuinely think you would have fun playing Mario Kart with us. So there you go. So we'll see what happens. That would be fun. That would be fun. It would. I doubt he would do it. I doubt he would do it. Patriotic Eagle says, I trust Trump and I trust the fact that people know if you go to Meta PC and use the promo code 199 at checkout, you get a discount. Hail the 199. Fantastic Knox says, find it funny Iran wants to sue USA for war crimes despite funding terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. Mitchell Field says, only Congress can declare war with the declaration of war. Come on, people, read a book. Okay, then just watch the movie Pearl Harbor. Well, Congress hasn't declared war since like what? World War II? Am I right about that? I don't think Congress has actually declared war since like World War II. Cliff Davis for 20 says, Trump supporter here, but the global war on terrorism has never declared except there was a AUMF, so it's a formal declaration of war. You're hunting. It's undeeded. We can do 20 years of a AUMF alone. Stay frosty. Thank you, Cliff Davis. Appreciate that. You don't want to know. I know enough about DSP. So what's up, Harley Dave in the house? Appreciate you. And thank you, Cliff, for the super chat. Thank you. Ministry of Wrong Things says, Asmund Gold says he's going to play Mario Kart, no cap. Is Asmund really going to play it? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Where's it at? Hang on. Mr. Hay, I really don't want anyone to see this comment. Jeremy, were you the same guy back in 2012 that pleasured yourself over hearing about The Force Awakens and called Lucas bad, but now you think you have base takes? Well, Mr. Hater, I don't think that The Force Awakens was named in 2012. I don't think we learned the name Force Awakens until 2014, maybe even 2015. Am I right about that? 2015, I think, is when we learned the title Force Awakens. Secondly, no, I've never said Lucas is bad. I've always been a big defender of George Lucas. But I was very excited for Disney Star Wars, and I was a big fan of The Force Awakens after it released. It wasn't until 2017 when The Last Jedi came out. So no, you are wrong, bro. Holy fuck, that backfired. Man, you almost had a point. He was almost there, boys. It had just backfired on you. Yes, Lucas sold to Disney in 2012. So yeah, you thought that was gonna fucking rock. He really thought he had me. He thought he had me. Nope. First teaser was December 2014. There you go. So it was sometime late 2014 when we even got the title Force Awakens. But this guy's claiming that I was excited about the Force Awakens in 2012. Ooh. Man, listen. If you want me to, if you want to email me, I can just send you a list of retarded shit I've said that you can use against me. Like, I'll help you. There's plenty of stupid things I've said. And I'll just send you I'll send you like a month's worth of stupid shit that I've said. And then you can come in the chat and you can be like, hey, Jeremy, you remember when you said, and then I'll highlight it and you'll be like, got him. I'll help you. Like, fuck. You need it. Clearly. Matt Frog says, if funding terrorism is bad and you don't want to know how many groups in the U.S. has funded. This is true. This is very true. Yeah, Jeremy likes Cinderella. Bro, that live action Cinderella is a damn good movie. I don't give a shit. That's a good ass movie. My job is to be honest. That Cinderella 2015 movie is damn good. I 100%. No, I will never back down off that. That's a damn good movie. Let's see here. What is this? Nope, not that one. Over on Rumble, I got that one. Dan Vicious says the hordes have broken the gates. Christ is king. Nader's Brick says put Alex up against Johnny and Ryan and see who's more angry and can swear the most. I don't think Alex gets as worked up as he used to back in the day. But man, old school Alex Jones, man, he used to get so worked up. It would be so awesome to see old school Alex Jones like on Mario Kart and just see him freak out and get mad. It'd be the greatest thing ever. But we're probably never going to get that. Sadly, probably never going to get that one. I had another video that I wanted to show you guys as soon as I can find it. Oh, it's JD Vance. Where's this JD Vance? JD Vance is just so good at talking to the media and articulating President Trump's points. He's just great, man. Like, when you hear him talk, it just makes sense. Listen to this guy.
I certainly empathize with Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East. I understand the concern, but the difference is that back then we had dumb presidents, and now we have a president who actually knows how to accomplish America's national security objectives. So this is not going to be some long, drawn-out thing. We've got in. We've done the job of setting their nuclear program back. We're going to now work to permanently dismantle that nuclear program over the coming years. And that is what the president has set out to do. Simple principle. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That has animated American policy over the past 130 days. It's going to continue to be a driving force of our policy in the Middle East for the next 3.5 years.
This guy is so good. He is so good at articulating President Trump's points better than Trump to people that don't like Trump. He's so good at it. And, you know, I saw that a lot of people are trying to spin the narrative like JD tried to stop this from happening, guys, because they saw some reports from Reuters that said JD Vance is trying to stop the assault on Iran. He's trying to say Israel drug us into this war. No, it's just so stupid. You know, so it's people will do anything to spin a narrative, and it's like JD Vance didn't try to stop anything based on what we see right here. JD Vance didn't try to stop anything. So I love the guy. I've become a huge fan of him, and he continues to show that he is the right guy for the job. And I'm really happy Trump picked him. Now, right here, this is Jennings, and I haven't seen this clip yet, but let's hear what he has to say.
I mean, the fact is we have a strong president, a decisive president, and the most lethal military in the world. And there's a huge difference between what's going on in Iran right now and what happened in Iraq over 20 years ago. So I think having J.D. Vance out is great. I think having Marco Rubio out is great. I think the president bringing his whole national security team out and showing that, the entire government here was operating in lockstep with great precision, great resolve, and the execution of this was flawless. It ought to give the American people, a lot of confidence in the competence in our government right now as compared to what we had in previous administration.
As here, and the implications of this is that they do escalate, they do attack Americans abroad, and that we end up seeing a back and forth and war moving forward.
This is not an escalation. This is a de-escalation.
Well, Trump promised escalation.
This is not
Trump promised escalation.
Iranian bunker busting bombs is not an escalation.
Because well, she said President Trump promised us peace. I ask you, can we have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon?
Well, we had a deal, and
you're litigating the past.
I'm not litigating the past.
Can we have peace if they have a nuclear weapon?
We had a deal. He's trying to get back into that deal. And he withdrew from that.
They were violating
and not only that, now he's trying to have another deal.
Bribery and appeasement does not work with terrorism.
Let me hold on.
And, like the media is just continuing to push it, and then they leave out the actual things that the administration is saying. So here's J.D. Vance says, we do not want war with Iran. We don't want war with
What we've said to the Iranians is we do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace. But we want peace in the context of them not having a nuclear weapons program. And that's exactly what the president accomplished last night. I really think there are two big questions for the Iranians here. Are they going to attack American troops, or are they going to continue with their nuclear weapons program? And if they leave American troops out of it and they decide to give up their nuclear weapons program once and for all, then I think the president has been very clear. We can have a good relationship with the Iranians. We can have a peaceful situation in that region of the world. We have to step back a little bit, Kristen, and remind ourselves that we negotiated aggressively with the Iranians to try to find a peaceful settlement to this conflict. It was only when the president decided that the Iranians were not negotiating in good faith that he took this action. Yeah. He didn't take it lightly, but I actually think it provides an opportunity to reset this relationship, reset these negotiations, and get us in a place where Iran can decide not to be a threat to its neighbors, not to be a threat to the United States. And if they're willing to do that, the United States is all ears.
So I think right now, like, if you're Trump should just be like, hey, JD, just go talk. Just talk to everybody about this situation, because he is so good at it. He's so good at articulating everything. That's what we need. We just need JD Vance to just continue to talk about all of this. So let's see here. Hayden Wayne for 10 says, I barely know who DSP is, but I also play Mario Kart. I just don't follow gaytards except Jeremy. Are you good at it though, Hayden? That's the question. Because if you're good, then we may have to get you on. Let's see here. Dude, I am obsessed with Mario Kart World. I fucking love it. Wednesday, Geeks and Gamers play every Wednesday night. We're playing it. And I am obsessed with this game. I love it so damn much. Ministry of Wrong Thinks says, with Trump, Vance, Rubio, and Hegseth walked out to the microphone, it was really smart of them to be stoic. He could have gone smiling after a victory, but he didn't because he knew his base is worried. I agree with that. I agree. Mud Butt Beardo says, let DSP, or lol, DSP just said he has no idea who you are. I know that. That's what I said. He probably has no idea who I am. So is he live right now? Let's see. Dimes Recon says, Iranian sleeper cells, watch out, LA. Masked folks may flame cars and attack. Oh, wait. Mitchell Field says 11 declarations of war have been declared. Google will only say 5: War of 1812, Mexican-American War, Spanish-American War, World War I, and World War II. Slain Hope says, bring back OG Alex Jones with a Jeremy Jones act. Ministry of Wrong Thinks says, CNN pretending to be anti-war. Ha ha ha. Mudbutt Bureau says, DSP says you need to reach out to him. All right, I will. Seriously, man. I will reach out. We will get him on to play Mario Kart with us. I have been critical of Mario Kart World, but damn, I'm obsessed with it. I was critical of it at first, but the more I've played it, it has been an absolute, like, it's been so good. And so Wednesday will be good. and the whole crew will be there, and it'll just be a bunch of yelling and cussing. So it's going to be great. We'll see if we can get DSP on there. That would be amazing. Mitchell Field says 11 declarations, 11 countries, 5 different wars. Over on Rumble. Oh, no, I caught up on that one. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. More to talk about. So give me just a minute. And let me show you the next thing that we are here to discuss momentarily. No, I'm not bringing Gundam on. I'm not setting DSP up. I'm not going to do it. He's had so many people try to set him up. So check this out. You guys want to, this is pretty funny. I got tagged in this. Okay. I got tagged in this. She just won the internet. Hands down, the best reporting on the current Iran situation. Here we go.
Series video about what's going on. All right. I did a series video about what's going on in Iran, but now I'm finna break it down in a nutshell what happened. All right. Okay. So from the beginning, well, somewhere from the beginning. All right. Netanyahu, I call him Yahoo. That's the man over there in Israel, right? He kept saying, hey, Iran got nukes, and I'm going to go and hit their ass up because they got nukes, and they keep saying they're going to wipe us off the map, so I'm going to just hit his ass first. Donald Trump said, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to send my folks over there. I'm going to send Tulsi Gabbard over there, and she going to see if they got nukes. So she went over there with her intelligence team in March, and she said, hey, it looked like they ain't got no nukes. And Trump said, all right, cool, that's fine. They ain't got no nukes. He done went and told Yahoo, listen. She done went over there and checked. Rock and Roller Ayatollah ain't got no nukes. She done went and checked. So
Rock and Roller Ayatollah.
I'm gonna need for y'all to chill out. And like my plan was, is peace, and we all finna make some bread. Well, Yahoo just wasn't satisfied with that shit because he war hungry. Looked like he want to stay in power forever, and as long as they're at war, he gonna keep his seat. So he was like, nah, I know they got some nukes, and I'm finna go over there and strike their ass on. Trump was like, hey, player, don't do that. We want peace. Well, Ayatollah Khomeini said, Rock and Roller Ayatollah, he said, death to America. Trump said, look, I've already told you I ain't in that shit. I'm not sending Israel no money. I'm not sending them no weapons. I'm just not in that shit. Leave America out of this. We ain't fucking with nobody. We want peace over here, right? All right, they get into it. Israel go and bomb their ass, and I'm talking about bomb their ass, right? So Rock and Roll Ayatollah was like,
this is amazing. So, this is so great.
oh shit, oh this how we playing? All right, everybody finna feel it. Donald Trump said, hey, who the fuck is everybody? I just told you, America's not in it. We don't want nothing to do with this player. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, we want peace. We really want y'all to shake hands, but since y'all on that gangster shit, we just gonna bow out gracefully. They said that shit again, death to America. Everybody gonna feel it, sending out all them threats. So DJT ain't finna take that shit laying down because he always been a G. Uppercase G at that. So Trump was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen in 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks, if we ain't broke a peace, then we gonna figure something out. Well, behind the scenes, DJT was like, well, I done found out you got 3 sites where you could have been making nukes. And so since you still talking big shit, big game player, I'm finna send some shit over there, and we just gonna get rid of that shit where you could have been making nukes, all right? Boom. So he go and send 3 strikes. He just obliterated 3 nuclear sites over there in Iran. And when I say nuclear sites, I'm talking about where they could have been making bombs underground, right? So what they dropped could go through, like, I think 20 feet of concrete, you know, like the big shits, right? So they just went over there and they obliterated 3 nuclear sites. So Trump basically, from what I can see, is saying, all right, what you thought they had, I done went and took that shit away. Now you ain't got no reason to keep going over there and fucking with them. I told you I wasn't finna get rid of their supreme leader, Rock and Roller Ayatollah. He's still over there. And as for you, Rock and Roller Ayatollah, keep our name out your motherfucking mouth like I told you from the beginning. That's it in a nutshell. Now we gonna see how this shit go. North Korea pipe down, China pipe down. Cause again, we ain't scared of shit now, but we do want peace. Now let's get together, stop all this beef so we can make some bread. That's it in a nutshell. All right.
That was amazing right there. That was perfect. Link to video. Yeah, I can get the link to the video. This is so good and so entertaining. And let me see who actually tagged me in this really quick. Here, let's see. So somebody tagged me in this. Let's see. Right here. Here's the tag. So I appreciate the tag. It was her tweet right here. I don't know who she is. She follows me. Let I'll follow her back. So anyway, this is the tweet. Let me get the let me drop this. Here we go. Boom, copy link, drop it here. And boom, there we go. All right, there's the link right there. So, all right. But that was a great response. Greatly appreciated that people tagging me in that and showing that to me. I knew I had to respond to that one, do a reaction. So there is the link in the description, or I mean in the comment section. So if you guys are interested, you can go check that out for yourself. And what is this? Oh my God. Oh, the baby AI stuff freaks me out. I know a lot of people seem to think that baby AI stuff is really, really cool. But yeah, I'm not about that. The AI stuff freaks me out, man. A lot of this AI stuff is bad. Here is Marco Rubio right here. Let's listen to Marco Rubio.
The president has said many times no nuclear weapons, but the ultimate goal also happens to be no biological weapons, chemicals, no drones, no proxy warfare. Do you believe that the Iranians will follow that and you'll achieve the ultimate goal of success here?
Yeah, that link is not the Black Chick's X account. I don't know who she is, but I'm just linking back to the video itself. So
long term.
Well, I don't know what they're going to decide to do next. If they're being rational, I think they realize, if what they want is a country that has a nuclear energy program, they can have that. I mean, many countries around the world, I don't like the regime, but we're not into the regime change business here. We're into the safety and security of the United States business. So that's a choice they'll have to make. I hope they're being rational in their decision making. But I think the most important thing I hope they realize is the game is up. Okay, they have played the world for 40-something years with these nuclear talks and this, delaying things. They got a crazy deal out of John Kerry when he was Secretary of State under the Obama administration, where they got billions of dollars. And by the way, agreed to something that allowed them to continue to build their missile capacity and sponsor terrorism. They've been playing the world for 40-something years. They're not going to play President Trump. And they found out last night that when he says he's going to do something, he'll do it. And he doesn't want to do it. It's not his first choice. But it's the only choice. That's the only choice the Iranian regime left us, because they play too many games. They use diplomacy to hide behind and obfuscate and think they can buy themselves time. They think they're cute. They're not cute. And they're not going to get away with this stuff. Not under President Trump.
Marco Rubio has been fantastic as Secretary of State. He has been on point. And one thing that gets lost in a lot of this, because there's been so much kind of back and forth and people debating and arguing on this side of it and that side of it. One of the things that's gotten lost in this is how incredible our military is. This is right here. Like, no bullshit. Like, nobody is going to fuck with us. Listen to this.
It's 14 total bombs under total stealth. Not a single shot fired, says Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Dan Kane, saying that no missiles were launched, no shots fired at our mission, no Iranian planes got airborne. They simply didn't see it. I want to bring back the special report anchor and our executive editor, Brett Baer. Brett, it's remarkable, these details, to learn that we literally got in and out without really being detected, hit all targets. It just strikes you at really the dominance we heard from Secretary Hegseth, the unmatched capability of the American military. But boy, you really got to see it here, and likely sending a message to those that would do us harm. It's 14 total bombs.
Absolutely just awesome. Just never saw it. They had no clue. Our military is awesome. And, it's just that's kind of gone, under the radar because of all the other, arguing and back and forth and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I was very happy our military is the best. And so hopefully we can at least put some focus on that moving forward. Let's see. Pre-Dawn Corp says, Jeremy, if you bring DSP on, please make sure Ryan is there. Granola Grin says, you're right, Jeremy. Vance is very articulate, especially when he interrogated Tim Walz into admitting that he's friends with school shooters. Smeeky says, Gabby, they're refining way too high in testing. John Gets Gaming says, I don't want occupation or nation building. Iran is our enemy and has been. They fund terrorists that go after our troops, use air to cripple them. Mitchell Field says, where did she get the Codate shirt in 2025? Austin says, I know you're a fan of Mario Kart, wondering if you're going to play Sonic Cross Worlds when it releases. I enjoyed the Sonic racing games, the transformed games. I've always thought they were pretty good. They're not as good as Mario Kart, but I'll probably try it out. I like kart racing games in general. So I'm always willing to try any kart racers out. My favorite non-Mario kart racer is Mod Nation Racers. And I'm sad that it just kind of fell off because I always thought that one was a really good one. But let's see here. Okay. So here is Tom Cotton, and this right here is kind of what I think that the overwhelming message is to, you better not fuck around.
And if Iran retaliates, should the United States target the Supreme Leader?
I won't rule any single target in or out, but I'll say that President Trump was very clear in his warning last night to Iran that last night will look like child's play if they target Americans. Clearly, President Trump means business. The Ayatollahs understand that now. He was not bluffing. He does not bluff. And there are still numerous targets that Iran holds very dear. They should not target Americans.
But it sounds like what you're saying, and frankly, what the president said last night, is that we may be on the beginning of this, not the end of it.
Well, that's really up to Iran at this point.
But given Iran's track record, I mean, it's hard to imagine they're suddenly going to come out and say, okay.
In 2020, President Trump killed Iran's terrorist mastermind, Qasem Soleimani.
Yeah.
Iran did target one of our bases, but frankly, they telegraphed what they were going to do, and it led to minor concussive injuries. No Americans were killed. Likewise, in the 1980s, when Iran was targeting naval ships in the Persian Gulf, Ronald Reagan sank half of their navy. That did not lead to war. It led to peace, not just with their targeting of Americans, but actually the 8-year Iran-Iraq war. So my message to the Supreme Leader is look at the lessons of history. Do not tempt fate. Do not target Americans. Heed Donald Trump's warning.
Pretty on point. Sadly, though, President Trump has serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure how he is going to overcome this one. And I don't want to upset anyone. I know we have a lot of, Trump supporters in the chat, but he may be in trouble. He may have met his match right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I go back in on Monday. You could have hollered at us on Monday. If you truly felt like there was something like...
He could have hollered at them. He could have hollered at them on Monday. He could have hollered at them.
I go back in on Monday. You could have hollered at us on Monday. If you truly felt like there was something like... There is nothing that they will say that will make me believe that this action needed to take place, and it needed to take place without the consultation of the Congress. All right. Give me one more.
How can the Senate be involved to make them accountable for what they're doing?
I mean, listen, y'all was talking about accountability. The systems have broken down. The systems have broken down because people have legitimately decided that they would rather serve him than serve the people that put him into office. Like, I don't really have any, good answers for you, except for the fact that
of course you don't.
Legitimately, everything that he does is against the law. He just breaks the law. And I know that there are some people that think that I just say this stuff because I'm a Democrat. And I can tell you, I have my own issues with my own party. I'm not saying these things because I'm a Democrat. I'm saying these things because I am a Black woman in America who just happens to be educated enough to know what the law is.
I had no idea. So every time I watch Stephen A. Smith, I don't know he's a Black man until he decides to say, as a Black man in America. So I'm so happy that she told us that she's a Black woman in America, because I didn't know. I had no idea. I had no idea until she said that. Thank you so much.
And I can tell you that while some people want to disparage my credibility and act as if I don't know what I'm talking about. I can absolutely guarantee to you that if you Google war and authority and constitution, you're going to see Congress. And this thing that's like on my chest tells you that I am a member of Congress. I don't really know. Like, and the biggest problem that we face right now is that we have an administration that does not care about making sure that they abide by rules or abide by the law.
My goodness. What like what do you say to that? Like it is so unbelievable that this is an elected official in the United States of America. This is DEI perfectly. For those of you saying you can fix her, I understand where you're coming from. I would say don't try. I would say don't. Okay? Just don't. I would not. I thought about a lot of jokes to say, but I am not going to say them because they're all very they're not something I should say on a YouTube stream. So I'll just, you saw my brain. I was like, I was going to say there was a lot of jokes and I'm like, no, I can't say it. Okay. Yeah. Let's just move on from that one. I can't say any of those jokes. None of those are going to go well. So I'll just move on from that. Let's change the subject. Marco Rubio, he was on Face the Nation. Let's hear what Marco Rubio had to say.
It's very simple. The president wants to resolve this diplomatically and peacefully. He gave him a chance to do that. They delayed. They had all these kind of delay tactics. They wouldn't even meet with us directly. We had to go through third countries. This is very simple. Let's meet directly. Let's work on agreements that are good for Iran, good for the Iranian people in particular, good for the safety and security of the world and the United States. That's always been our preference. That continues to be our preference. But they're the ones that were playing games with us. And these are the consequences. We had to achieve those objectives. We had 3 objectives yesterday: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. We conducted a brilliant military operation under the command of President Trump, and obviously great credit to Secretary Hegseth and General Kurilla and General Kane and all the airmen and the phenomenal people in the U.S. military. No other military in the world could have done this.
No,
We've achieved those objectives.
How has Marco Rubio gotten so good? He really is. It is really phenomenal how good Marco Rubio has gotten at this. Like, I used to hate this guy, and I'm still not necessarily a fan, by the way, but he is just cooking, man. Like, this guy is crazy good at this job. He's done a great job in this role. I'm so impressed by him.
What happens next is up to the regime. Okay, the regime wants peace. We're ready for peace. They want to do something else. They're incredibly vulnerable. They can't even protect their own airspace. This is very simple.
So
the president wants.
He has crushed it, man. I am incredibly impressed with him. So great job to Rubio. I never in a million years thought I would be impressed with him, but yeah, he's definitely done it. Van Jones, I just saw this on my feed. This is Van Jones talking about. Oh, this was old though, because this is 2 weeks is the maximum. No, that's not going to work. This is old, right? Somebody told me earlier that Van Jones is in support of this, but I didn't know. I thought that might be it, but that looked like that was a clip from before the bombing actually happened. Is Van Jones actually in support of Trump's decision to bomb? Because that would be crazy if that's the case. Let's see here. I'm looking to see what people in the chat say. I don't see anything about it yet. Got that one. Yeah, and I agree with this tweet right here. I think it's safe to say Pete Hegseth was easily the perfect fit for Trump's Secretary of Defense, and his Pentagon is running like a well-oiled machine. Yes, and the clip is from before. Okay, let me see if I can pull up Van Jones. Then let me see if I can search his name out and find his clip. For Van Jones to praise Trump, that's he's done it before. All these clips are the previous one though, so let me hear what he has to say. So let me hear this clip, even though this is the older one. So this is before the bombing.
He's buying himself some time in some room. I was also in the Holy Land very recently. I think progressives underestimate how dangerous Iran is. Iran is not a normal country. Normal countries don't blind women because they showed some hair. They don't empower little gangs and proxies to surround a country and fire rockets and rape people. So Iran, the two things are clear. The what, they cannot have a bomb, and the why, because they say death to America, death to Israel, and death to all the Jews. One of those should offend you if you're progressives. At least one should offend you. And so the question, though, is the who and the how. Is Israel going to take out this nuclear capacity by dropping people there who blow it up, or is America going to take it out by dropping a bomb that blows it up? But the what and the why are clear, and I think progressives should get on board with that. We cannot have a nuclear-armed Iran. I was in the region. You were in the region. This is a very dangerous power that cannot get a nuclear weapon.
That's shocking coming from Van Jones. So this is prior to the bombing that took place, and for him to say it like that is kind of crazy. I'd like to see what his latest comments were, but I'm not seeing any clips of it, at least on Twitter. So maybe it's on YouTube, but I'm not going to search it out. Like it's not that important to me. Van Jones is a piece of garbage anyway. Always has been. So even if he makes a good point, it really doesn't matter. He's a cry. The times we've seen him cry and look pathetic, it's absolutely laughable. So screw him. Even if I think he had a level-headed take there, he can still, he's a piece of garbage. So I don't see this from him. So I'm not even going to look for it anymore. Okay. Jupiter Knight says in a few years, F-47, B-21, and SR-72s come to play. Little Jim's Ringo Halo says she's a Texas representative of all places. I know, it's crazy. Smeeky says can't fix crazy. Stymie says Jeremy Beardo and Jasmine Crockett come from the same mother. Rob says Jasmine Crockett brings out the gamer words in a lot of people. Ministry of Wrong Think says her use of Ebonics is fake to grift the black vote. Liberal Hive Mind showed video of her speaking 100% normal. When she started, she was an Ivy League. Yeah, I've seen those clips. Beastie Man says, Trump put some sense into Marco. Bigly, that's how. LFG. Little Marco, he crushed little Marco all those years ago, but I guess I guess everybody comes around, I guess, when they want to listen to the big dog. So, all right, well, we're going to end it there. It's 1:00 in the morning EST. So we're going to end it there. I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for the support and all of the love and the hate and the comments and everything like that. Things are going to continue to remain crazy over the next couple of weeks, maybe even the next couple of months. There are concerns out there of sleeper cells, and I think people should be taking that seriously. And I'm hoping that the administration is keeping a close eye on everything. That's my biggest concern right now is the sleeper cells within the United States of America and also our troops overseas. Those are the two main concerns that I have right now. So I will be back this week at my home base and expect long streams from me. I will be covering everything, and we'll get everything covered. So I do appreciate all of you, and you guys have a great day. Hang on. Tweet Zone says, go another 2 hours and ask everyone where they're watching from, like the OG days, when I get back home. So, all right. So you guys have a good evening. I appreciate it. Be safe out there, and get some rest, I guess, because that's what I'm going to do. So you guys have a good one. I'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.